Hello, greetings, and welcome to another episode of the program Be Inspired. Today, as usual, we're going to be sharing very useful productivity tips, championship fundamentals, as well as timeless truths that can make all the difference. I'm your host, Emmanuel Emmanuel. You know, I've been thinking recently, it's hard to stay happy in this world where we're constantly chasing dreams and goals, and we have plans that often fall through because of the difficulties of our realities. Now, it's a world of uncertainty. And sometimes our best efforts at achieving anything, even keeping our loved ones close to us, often ends up in disappointment. Now often we find ourselves plunged into that all too familiar feeling of loneliness, sadness and despair. Now at such times when we feel sad, to what thoughts can we turn? Now is there a permanent way of reacting to everything that life throws at us? Or should we just see ourselves always as victims, subject to the twists and turns of fate? Is there any way that we can teach ourselves how to stay happy in this world where it's more natural to cry than smile? Today I'm going to be sharing with you what I call 7 happy thoughts that can keep you inspired in spite of life. This is Be Inspired, and I'm your host Emmanuel Emmanuel. Buckle up as you join me on this inspirational ride. Now, nothing can make you happy unless you make up your mind to be happy, and that's a fact. Now, I believe that there are 7 thoughts that you can dwell on that can keep you joyful and inspired all the time. And the first is the key of gratefulness. Now, if you look at the world around you, you will see that there are many rich and successful people, but not many happy people. Now, it seems that the more we acquire, the more we feel empty, and the grief that we bring upon ourselves increases. Now, it's a world that is deeply rooted in the philosophy of upward mobility. In other words, we're always trying to climb higher, and the higher we achieve, the more it seems that we have achieved nothing. We always feel emptiness deep within our hearts. Now, all this has led to a central understanding in this millennium. Human beings are finally beginning to realize what the ancients knew, that our happiness in life does not depend on how much we have, but on how grateful we are for all that we have received. You know, we're always trying to achieve this and trying to achieve that, and so instead of assessing our progress by how far we have come, we often assess our progress by how much we have left to do. Now, because we're always looking for more and more, we bring upon ourselves so much weight, and we never have enough time to pause and celebrate all that we have received. But if you're that candidate that will know happiness, you must not let the things that you do not have keep you away from celebrating the things that you do have. The attitude of gratefulness is the first key to happiness. So stop complaining about the things that you do not have and start being grateful for all the things that you do have. Stop being sad about the many people who don't like you and allow yourself to be inspired by the few who do love you. Stop regretting about your missed opportunities of yesterday. Allow yourself to be grateful that you even had those opportunities to miss in the first place. Stop looking at what is wrong with your life so that you can see what is right with your life. I've come to see that there is nothing wrong with us that cannot be corrected with what is right about us. Now, in gratitude lies the key to balance and happiness. Now, on the one hand, things can be bad with you, but if you look closely, you will see that a good season is very much on the way. Very often we are unhappy, not because we are too poor to celebrate life, but because we are too ungrateful to realize that we have received so much. So instead of always trying to identify the things that you lack, begin to identify the things that you do have. Allow yourself to be inspired by them. And whenever sad thoughts are about to come on you, replace those thoughts with happy thoughts of gratitude. I want you to understand that there are many people whose biggest dream in this life is to be like you. There are many people who will in their lifetimes never get to where you have been. So be grateful that you're where you are, and that even with your present troubles, realize that there are many who will be glad to inherit those troubles along with the place that you occupy today. By way of summarizing this first key of happiness, in the words of David Steindl, in daily life we must see that it is not happiness that makes us grateful. Rather, it is gratefulness that makes us happy. Now, the second way to bring in more happiness into your life is to quit worrying about tomorrow. Sometimes what robs us of happiness is not really the unfortunate things that are happening around us right now, but what we fear might happen to us tomorrow. Often because of our cares and worries, we allow ourselves to become tormented out of the happiness that we can enjoy today. Now, it's quite true that we have no control over the things that we will face as we go through the journey of life. But I believe that you can choose a permanent state of mind with which you can deal with all the troubles that come your way. As someone said that in life chooses all the pains that we go through, but we ultimately choose how we want to go through those pains. So quit worrying about tomorrow and all the troubles and pains that you may face tomorrow. Learn to enjoy the present moment. Quit worrying about the future and the things that you cannot control. Allow yourself to be inspired by the happiness that you're still alive today. Sometimes it can be very hard, rather, to be happy when we still have many dreams and goals and plans that are still out of our reach and still far way into the future. But while you worry about what may happen to your dreams tomorrow, remember that today someone out there is breathing his last. By way of summarizing the second point, let us learn from Charles Spurgeon, who said that anxiety does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows, but only empties today of its strength. So the second key to being happy is to quit worrying. The third key to happiness is to look for the positives in every situation. You know, sometimes when we sit and make a list of all the things that are not right about our lives, we often forget to make another list of all the things that are right about us. And often when things are not going right with us, we can make that choice to look for the positives in our bad situations. Now, instead of sitting down and thinking about all the things that you've done wrong, sit down and focus on the things that you have managed to get right. Instead of sitting down and recalling all the bad luck that you have had, you can challenge your memory to reproduce all the good things that have happened to you. Instead of being blinded by the sad realities of today, you can open your eye to the happy events that are taking place around you and allow yourself to be inspired by those happy events. And instead of being depressed because of your weaknesses, you can let your mind be preoccupied with the thoughts of your strength. Now, I've come to see that we humans have this power to attract more of whatever we focus on. So look for the positives in all your situations and remember that 2 steps forward and 1 step backward is still equal to 1 step forward. And the fourth mental file that you need to have in order to attract more happiness into your life is to dwell on the happy thoughts of yesterday. You see, sometimes when things are very bad with you, instead of wrapping yourself with the sadness of your present realities, you can dwell on your sweet memories from yesterday. The idea of dwelling on your happy memories is not to escape from reality, but rather to help you get rid of the negative energy around you. Remember that what you focus on expands. So as you focus on the sweet things that happened in your life yesterday, you can change the atmosphere around you today into one that is happy and conducive for happy things. Instead of looking at what you're yet to achieve, remember the victories of your achievements yesterday. Instead of feeling like you're a loser because things are not going on well with you today, use the memories of your past victories to remind yourself that you're a winner. Remember that yesterday there were days that were very bad, but somehow you weathered the storm, and that is why you're still here. So use your happy thoughts of yesterday to get your mind liberated so that you can see the many options that you have out of your troubles today. Instead of being sad because of today's realities, cast your mind on the good memories of yesterday and allow yourself to be inspired by them. Maybe you've not achieved as much as you would have loved to achieve at this stage of your life, but for the simple fact that you did not fall yesterday, today you have more hope in life than all the dead great men of yesterday. Allow yourself to be inspired into your future by your happy thoughts of yesterday. And the fifth thing that you need to do to bring in more happiness into your life is to spend more time with happy people. If you look around you, you will see that always in the world that there are 2 types of people. Those who are happy and contented with what life has given to them, and those who always look depressed and sad. And for those who are always happy in life, life always looks bright for them. So bring more happiness into your life by trying to be in the company of happy people. I want you to understand that every moment that you spend in the company of happy people is an investment in your own future and present happiness. Happiness is contagious, and Marcel Proust put it very nicely when he said, "Let us be grateful to the people who make us happy, and let us try to be with them, for they are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom." And the sixth way to bring in more happiness into your life is by celebrating yourself. Now, often we pursue so many goals that in the process we end up burnt out. We get depressed that the results are not forthcoming, and the period of waiting in between our efforts and the expected results can feel like everlasting. Now, to bring in more happiness into your life, you should be someone who is not just running after goals, but you should be able to pause in between your busy schedules and celebrate yourself. Take yourself out, give yourself a treat, buy new clothes for yourself, get the sort of things that you like, smile, make it a point of duty to celebrate yourself. For the mere fact that you're someone who pursues goals and dreams, whether you achieve them or not today, it is worth celebrating you. Now here's what I've come to find out, that the more you celebrate yourself, the happier you look. The happier you look, the more you attract happy people into your life. And the more happy people come into your life, the more happy things happen to you. So take yourself out and celebrate yourself. For the one great key of happiness is celebrating yourself. And the seventh key of bringing more happiness into your life is to promise yourself happiness. You see, most times we find it easy to make promises to other people, and we work very hard to keep those promises. But we seldom make promises to our own selves. So today, I want you to make a promise to yourself that you're going to be happy all the time. Promise yourself that you will be so strong that nothing will disturb your peace of mind. Promise yourself that from today you will talk health, happiness and prosperity to everyone that you meet. Promise yourself that you will look at the sunny side of everything and make optimism your lifestyle. Promise yourself that you will forget the mistakes of yesterday and celebrate the opportunities that you have today. Promise yourself that you will be too large to worry, too strong to fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Promise yourself that you will think well of yourself and announce this fact to the world. I want you to know that the whole world is on your side, waiting to help you succeed, as long as you are prepared to be true to the best that is within you. And that, of course, begins with dwelling on happy thoughts. By way of summarizing, these are the 7 happy thoughts that you should dwell on in order to bring in more happiness into your life. Happiness is in you. You can choose to be happy 24 hours, 7 days a week, or be depressed all the time. It's your choice. Whether you want to focus on all the bad things that have been happening, or you want to focus on all the good things that have happened to you. For a moment or so, I'd like you to pause and reflect deeply on the words that are about to come on your screen. Allow yourself to be inspired by these golden thoughts. Stay tuned. Forbes magazine just some time ago announced that the world's richest man is now a Mexican, Carlos Slim. Now, while he may be the richest person on earth, I can wager everything that I have that he is not necessarily the happiest person on earth. Now, life is shaped in such a way that the poorest person can even be the happiest person on earth if he wears clean rags and learns to be grateful for those clean rags. Now, unless we teach ourselves to be happy with what we have, right where we are, even if we have the whole world at our feet, we may never be satisfied. So once again, I urge you to look at these 7 happy thoughts and make them a definite thought pattern in your consciousness. Unfortunately, my time is up, but I hope that you have been inspired. In the ever-shining words of Abraham Lincoln, in the end, it is not the years of our life that count, but the life in those years that count. So go ahead, think, do, and be your best. Until then, stay inspired and see you next week.